Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. In this video, we are going to talk about K9s, which is a terminal-based sort of a dashboard tool, which makes interacting with Kubernetes cluster much more easier and much more intuitive. Now, obviously, you can use kubectl command for that, but K9s offers a little bit simpler way of interacting with the cluster. And with Kubernetes commands, with kubectl commands, sometimes a misspell here and there can mess it up. Sometimes they are too long, makes us slow. So that is where K9s comes in. Obviously, it cannot completely replace kubectl. You obviously need it for things like applying the manifest, dry run sort of things, kubectl patch, and then for creating a JSON output, then piping it to JQ to figure out exact details. But it would do 80 to 90% of the work if you regularly use or interact with Kubernetes clusters. So let's get started. We'll see how it looks after installing it. Let's install it first. So I'll go to the K9s documentation. Here I'll find installation is here. Let's go to the release page. Debian. Yeah, this one is for me. So you can find your packages over here. Select any package that you want and download it on your machine. I'll just download it via wget. And it's done. So now let's install it. K9s. And it's installed as well. And let's start it now. You just have to type out K9s to start it. Before that, since I have some clusters that our organization also uses, so I'll just change my context first. Kconfig, use context, and the name was, I think it was Kubernetes admin @Kubernetes. Yes, so now we can, sorry for that, now we can start K9s. I know why it's not working. I'll have to stop it. The thing is that my EC2 instances that I'm using to make the cluster are stopped as of now. So I'll quickly go and start them and be back. So I have started my EC2 instances. And I think now I'll have to update the kubeconfig as well. So .kube, and I think it's called something EC2. Yep. I'm obviously not using elastic IPs. They are costly. So I have to do this every single time. And now get nodes, it's working. So K9s should also work. Yep, it does work. And this is how the dashboard for K9s looks like. So these are all the namespaces. By default, you'll see all the namespaces. You can use your arrow keys to just navigate on those namespaces. And you can simply press enter to enter a particular namespace, which is just showing the pods in that particular namespace. So now to see pods of a particular namespace, you don't have to do like k get pods -n smiyk, and sometimes you can misspell that as well. You can simply do it this way. Just enter any namespace. It will show you pods running in that. Now, another thing is that you can jump from a pod to its owner replica set and then to its owner deployment. You can do that by Shift J. So Shift J will take me to the replica set that is actually creating that pod. And then Shift J again will take me to the deployment that is creating that pod. So this is how you can jump towards the parent of a particular resource. And then if you do enter, you can get back to the child. Before moving ahead, we did not discuss this important thing, which is filtering out resources. So let's do that first. Let's come back to namespaces, which was our default menu. And we can do double colon, which is for filtering through resources. So if I want to only see pods, I can say pods, and it will only show me pods for a particular namespace. But if you do 0, it will show you all the pods. If you do 1, it will show you pods for this particular namespace, and you can see it from here. All these shortcuts are present here. So for 2, it shows me this one. For 3, it shows me the kube system namespaces, all the pods. So this is how it works. Let's do 0 and go to all the pods. For checking the services, you can do SVC. You can also do service, and you can also do SE. Okay, I messed it up. Let me exit. Yeah, so you can also do double colon first and then SVC, service, sir, and then simply tab, which will autocomplete, and you can see your services over here. For namespace, it's NS. You can also do context from here. You can also change context, but I would not do that because it has the list of all the clusters that I have access to in my organization. Let's go back to NS. And now another important thing is that you can search using slash. So you can say, for example, SMYIK, and this will show me that particular namespace. So I'll enter this namespace, and here I can again search for DB, for example. So it shows me that particular pod. Now, why would you want to use K9s? A really good example is if I go here, I want to see logs. For logs, you just need to press L. It will show you the logs. Now here, if you want to find a particular line or a particular message, you can simply do slash, and then let's say bootstrap completed. Can I not copy this? Apparently not. So now I see that particular line. So this is how you can check the logs and then search from the logs. Now same thing, if you go and do using kubectl, then you'll have to do k logs, and then the pod name, which is SMYIK db1, and then the namespace SMYIK, and then you'll grep this particular line, which was bootstrap. I don't remember the full message, so I'll just do this. It defaulted to a particular container, to Postgres, and we want it which bootstrap controller. So now again, we'll have to do -c and then bootstrap controller, and now it shows me this particular line, bootstrap completed. But here it was much more simpler and much more time saving. So this is how you can check for logs, search for logs. Not just this, you can search practically anywhere. So if you want to search for all the pods that are not in running state, you can simply do again slash for searching, and then not running. So this will show you all the pods that are not running. Right now we are in containers, so it's showing us all the containers that are not running. Same we can do with pods as well. So not running, and both of them are not running. There is one more thing, which is Control W, which is for making the this particular navigation dashboard more wide, and it will give you more details like the CPU usage and memory usage, etc. I cannot do that because that shortcut I'm using for something else, but you can try that. Let's have a look at other shortcuts as well. So let's go to any random namespace, and these are the pods. If you want to describe a particular pod, you don't have to write that long kubectl command. You can simply do D and it describes the entire pod. And then if you can just do events, and you can see the events over here. So you don't have to write that complicated command to see the events. You can simply see it from here. This was for describe, and then you can also do Y, and it will show you the YAML manifest for that particular resource. And if you want to search anything, any specific thing, then you can do it here. Let's say container, and it will search through container. Now you can just use up down arrow keys to go up and down, find the particular keyword. I don't think there is a way to like jump from one like this container to another container. But yeah, you can, it can at least highlight it, and you can then use your keys to find that particular keyword. So let's go back and let's look at more commands. There is also one thing, you can press the question mark key and it will show you all the commands over here. So if you forget any command, it's perfectly fine. You can just do question mark and find that command. And once you start using it in your daily workflow, it will be much more simpler and you'll move much more faster with K9s also. And obviously it's much more faster than writing kubectl commands. One more thing about containers, let's go to this pod. And in this container, if you want to exec into it, you can simply do S and you are in that container. Let me do S again. What's the issue? So it's exiting again and again. It's in running state also. Let's go to some other place. Let's go to this particular application. And let's do exec into this container. And now we are inside that particular container. So this is how you can exec, pretty simple. And for logs, we already saw, which is L. For previous logs, it's Shift plus L. I think there are no previous logs, so it's not working, but L for logs. Another important thing that you'll use regularly also is port forwarding. So if you want to port forward your Prometheus, you can simply do that using Shift plus F. This is a really helpful command. You can simply port forward it like this. Let's go to localhost 1990 and we can see our Prometheus here. So it's very simple to port forward using this. Otherwise, you would have to write a very lengthy kubectl command for this. One more thing, you can simply edit a particular resource using E command. So now this is same as kubectl edit. So you can edit it over here and then save your file and the changes will be reflected. So this is how it works. If I go here and if I do Control plus D, then it would delete a particular resource. So this particular pod will be deleted, but I cannot do that because my keyboard has that shortcut for something else. So you can try that on your own. Yeah, I think these are the most used commands. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Let me check here. And we have mostly covered everything. One more thing, a very helpful shortcut is this. You can do slash for searching, obviously, and then you can do -l, and then you can filter through labels. So you can do key is equals to value here. Now I don't remember any labels, so I'll just first check labels for this one. These are the labels. I cannot copy using my mouse for some odd reasons. Maybe some configuration issue. We'll look into it later. But app.kubernetes.io/instance is equals to SMIYK. I forgot it right now only. app.kubernetes.io/instance is equal to SMYIK. Yeah, this was the one. So now we only see these two pods over here. So -l or -l is for filtering through labels. So these were the commands that you will need to get started with K9s. These are the most used commands. If you forget anything, you can find it through help, or if I haven't mentioned anything, those also you'll see over here. So that's pretty much it. I think there is also another configuration file where we can set up our aliases. So let's have a look at that as well. It is present in config from what I can recall. So let's go over there, config, and then it should be K9s, I think. Yes. And this is the file that I was talking about, aliases. Let's go over here. And this is where you can set your aliases. I think this I had set for the previous installation of K9s that I had. So if I go to my K9s, and if I, by the way, I'm able to select these through mouse. I think that's the reason why I am not able to like copy this. Maybe that's in the config file, the config.yaml file. Anyways, we can do pp and it would show me the pods. Yes, it does. If I do ds, it shows me the daemon set. If I do sts, it shows me stateful sets. So yes, I think aliases are working. So if you want to set any particular alias for yourself, you can do it using this particular file, which is in .config K9s and then aliases.yaml. Let's also see config.yaml. And yes, that's the reason, because I did enable mouse is equals to true, but I don't like it. So I'll do it false so that I am able to copy the commands at least, or the text at least. Also, this particular file is for the configurations of K9s. So you can read it out, and if you want to change something over here, you can configure your K9s according to yourself. I'll just exit it for now. And if I close K9s, if I again start it, and I think we have covered these, so let's exit from here. Let me go to ns, and now I'm able to copy as well. So yeah, if you want your mouse to be enabled, you can navigate through your mouse, but then you won't be able to like copy the logs or use this. So you can decide it for yourself. This was it about K9s. I think we have covered most of the commands, and I hope now you are able to see how K9s can simplify your interaction with your Kubernetes cluster, and how you can replace like 80 to 90% of your kubectl commands with this dashboard, and it's much more easier, it's much more convenient, and it's much more faster. So you don't have to type out those long commands. I hope this video was helpful and you got to learn something. If you are interested in more Kubernetes videos, you can check out my other videos. In either case, thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.